Hello, you're watching ERi-TV and welcome to English News Broadcast. These are the top stories. 34 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. The first phase of the potable water project in Keren City has been finalized. The global COVID-19 case and death toll continue to rise. And France holds joint army operation with Mali until civilians return to positions of power. The local news. We have an announcement from the Minister of Health. 34 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers in the central and southern Red Sea regions. Out of this, 27 patients are from quarantine center in Asmara Central region. The other 7 patients are from quarantine centers in Al4 and Marsa Fatma 3 southern Red Sea region. On the other hand, 30 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the central region have fully recovered and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients to date has accordingly risen to 3,924, while the number of deaths still is 14. And the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 4,461. Minister of Health, Asmara, June 5, 2021. The first phase of the potable water project in Keren City, worth over 40 million nakfa, has been finalized. The project that is being conducted in cooperation with the Ansabar Regional Administration, Project Adi Halo, members of the Defense Forces, and the public includes installation of 22 kilometers water pipes, 4 reservoirs that could hold 3,000 barrels of water, as well as water pumps, stating that the project that launched into 2020 is being conducted with the internal capacity. Head of water project at Adi Halo, Mr. Shishai Tasfai, expressed appreciation for the commitment and participation of the members of the Eritrean Defense Forces. Mr. Abraha Germation, head of water supply in Keren, said with the growing population of Keren City, the project will have significant contribution in alleviating the potable water project problems of the residents. Commending the contribution and participation the residents demonstrated in the implementation of the project, Mr. Shishai called for judicious use of the project for its sustainability. The inhabitants of Brahan administrative area, Maitemanai subzone in Asmara City, in cooperation with the second construction company, have renovated that road that has been difficult for transportation. The inhabitants, in cooperation with Adhala project, have repaired worn-out potable water pipelines, and by contributing 30,000 nakfa has replaced street lights in their area. Speaking to Arena, Mr. Solomon Haila, administrator of the Maitemanai subzone, said the machinery assistance will help facilitate activities of the residents. It will let a new central regional administration workers conduct forestation and environmental sanitation activities on the 2nd of June. This is according to further reports. Extensive water and soil conservation activities aimed at boosting agricultural productivity and developing vegetables and fruits farming activities being exerted in Foro subzone, stating that there is about 8,200 hectares of rain-fed farm as well as 100 hectares of vegetables and fruits farmland that is being cultivated in Foro subzone. Head of plant protection of the subzone, Mr. Asmerom Shimondi, said farmers are engaged in the construction and renovation of flood-damaged water diversion schemes, embankments as well as terraces, stating that if properly watered, the farmland can yield 3 times a year. Mr. Asmerom said professionals' advice for farmers introduced modern farming activities has registered encouraging result. He also said that effort is underway to introduce date farming and that so far date seedlings are provided to 10 exemplary farmers that are in good condition. The head of plant protection and forest subzone, Mr. Asmerom, finally called for sustainable solution to the agricultural infrastructure that has been frequently exposed to flooding. And now international news is next, after a short break. Welcome back. The total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases globally surpassed 173 million today, with the deaths still exceeding 3.7 million. and the number of recovered patients has exceeded 156 million. This is according to World Meters. The World Health Organization's top vaccines expert has said that immunizing children against COVID-19 is not a highly priority from the WHO perspective, given the extremely limited global supply of doses. India's government has signed its first purchase order for unimproved COVID-19 vaccines a day after it faced criticism from the top court about arbitrary and irrational vaccine rollout that has left millions of people vulnerable. After a devastating second wave of infections that killed tens of thousands in April and May, the focus has shifted to urgently inoculating India's vast adult population to curb infections later this year. In its strongest reaction yet to last week's coup in Mali, France has said it will suspend its joint military operations with Malian forces, awaiting guarantees that civilians return to positions of power. Malian soldiers on May 25 detained Mali's interim president and prime minister and stripped them of their powers after a dispute over a cabinet reshuffle, plunging the country into further uncertainty after a military coup in August last year. Assimi Goïta, a colonel who led both coups, was named president on May 28. In response to the army's latest power grab, the Economic Community of Western African States, or ECOWAS, a regional bloc, and the African Union have suspended Mali from their organizations and threatened sanctions. France, the former colonial power in the region, has about 5,100 soldiers in the region under a so-called Operation Barkhane, which spans 5 countries in the Sahel: Burkina Faso, Chad, Mali, Mauritania, and Niger. Democratic Republic of the Congo politicians voted to extend martial law on the restivist of the country for 15 days, a month after they replaced civilian authorities with military administrations in North Kivu and Luturi provinces. Violence has been endemic in DRC's mineral-rich eastern region since the official end of the civil war in 2003, but insecurity has worsened in the past 2 years. On May 6, the government imposed a state of siege to try to end the bloodshed. Violent attacks have since continued, but Justice Minister Ross Motombo said numerous militia fighters had surrendered and the army had seized control of the new areas. The eruption on May 22nd, sent rivers of lava streaming through the outskirts of the city of Goma, killing at least 31 people and making 20,000 homeless, according to United Nations figures. 2 people died and 6 were missing today after an accident in a coal mine in central China. This according to the state broadcaster CCTV. The accidental outburst occurred at a coal mine run by Henan Heavy Coal and Electricity Company, and the authorities in Henan province have launched an emergency response plan. Last month, the provincial government said it had approved the reopening of another mine operated by Hebi after it was shut for not complying with regulations. China has been carrying out safety inspections at a coal mine across the country, but record high coal prices have miners ramping up production to meet supply gaps. That's all for today, and now let's remind you the top stories. 34 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. The first phase of the potable water project in Karen City has been finalized. The global COVID-19 case and death toll continue to rise. And France holds a joint military operation with Mali until civilians return to positions of power.